All right, let's get right into it. We're diving into some super direct, no-nonsense financial advice from the one and only Kevin O'Leary. You know, Mr. Wonderful. He's got this idea that most people aren't broke because of how much they make, but because of what they buy. So we're going to break down the 5 things he says you absolutely have to stop buying if you actually want to get rich.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty intense way to kick things off, right? You're broke because you keep buying stupid things. But look, O'Leary's goal here isn't to make you feel bad, not at all. It's really about getting us to face a hard truth head-on. A core idea that he says is the one thing that separates the truly wealthy from, well, everyone else. And this right here, this is the whole game. It's the foundation for everything we're going to talk about. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. I mean, it sounds so simple, right? Almost too simple. But O'Leary is convinced that getting this one thing wrong, mistaking a liability for an asset, is the #1 reason most people struggle with money. This distinction is absolutely everything.
Okay, so let's put that idea to the test with the first big one. And trust me, this is the one that gets people really fired up. But the numbers? Well, the numbers don't lie. We're talking about wealth killer #1, brand new cars.
Just let that sink in for a second. 30%. The moment, literally, the second you drive that shiny new car off the dealer's lot, its value just falls off a cliff. We're talking up to a 30% loss in the very first year. O'Leary basically says it's like taking a giant pile of cash, dousing it in gasoline, and lighting a match, all for that new car.
And you know what? It gets so much worse. Why? Because almost nobody pays cash for a new car. They finance it. Now think about how crazy that is. You are paying a bank interest for the privilege of owning something that is losing value faster than you can even make the payments. It's an absolute double whammy. You lose on the car's value dropping, and you're handing over extra money to the bank in interest. It's just financial suicide.
And this slide just nails the difference in mindset, doesn't it? The trap is trying to look rich by financing a brand new car. But the smart move, the move that actually gets you rich, is to let some other sucker take that massive 30% first-year hit. You swoop in, buy a perfectly good 3-year-old car, and you invest all the money you saved. That's how you build wealth.
All right, moving on to wealth killer #2. And this one goes against what our parents and probably everyone we know has told us our entire lives. We're talking about your home. Or, to be more specific, buying way too much house. So O'Leary wants you to ask yourself a really tough question. Go back to that definition we talked about. Does the house you live in put money into your pocket every month? The answer is a hard no. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It's a constant vacuum cleaner for your money. You've got the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and the roof that suddenly needs fixing. It's just a nonstop drain.
And if you want to see just how big that drain is, look at this. You buy a $500,000 house, but over 30 years, you could pay the bank over $800,000 for it. That's $300,000 extra. And where does that money go? It's not building your wealth. Nope. It's a giant gift from you directly to the bank. You're making them rich, not yourself.
So what's the O'Leary solution? It's simple. Buy half the house the bank says you can afford. Look, when a bank approves you for a huge loan, that's what's good for their business, not what's good for your life. By cutting that in half, you suddenly free up hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every single month. And that's money you can put to work in real assets, the kind that actually make you wealthy.
Okay, we've talked about the giant purchases. Now let's get into the small stuff. The little daily habits that feel harmless, but are actually like a slow leak, silently sinking your financial ship. Wealth killer #3. Yeah, it's eating out all the time. I mean, we all do it, right? That morning coffee, grabbing lunch because you're busy. It feels like just a normal part of life. And on average, it adds up to about $3,000 a year. But here's the thing. The real cost isn't the $3,000.
No, the real cost is what that money could have become. You take that same $3,000 a year and just invest it, over 30 years, it could turn into more than $500,000. Think about that. You are trading a comfortable retirement for a sandwich and a coffee you won't even remember next week. It's insane when you look at it that way.
All right, let's talk about the next one. This is a trap that our entire culture is designed to push us into every single day. We're talking about the endless cycle of buying new clothes and trying to keep up with fashion.
I love this quote. Your closet is a museum of bad financial decisions.
It's just so true, isn't it? Just picture your own closet right now. How much stuff is in there that you've worn, like, once? Maybe never. That's not just a shirt or a pair of pants. That's cash. That's money that is just sitting there doing nothing, when it could be out in the world making more money for you.
So it all comes down to a choice in your philosophy. Are you going to get caught in the trap of chasing trends and trying to impress total strangers? Or are you going to take the smart path, buy good quality stuff that actually lasts? Because let me tell you, a growing bank account is a whole lot more impressive than a new pair of sneakers that are going to look dated in 6 months.
And that brings us to the final wealth killer. O'Leary calls this one the silent killer because it's so sneaky. It's that slow drip, drip, drip that just drains your bank account month after month, and you probably don't even notice it's happening. We're talking about all those unused subscriptions.
Look, all these companies are making a bet. They're betting that you're too lazy or too busy to notice that 10 or 15 bucks they're taking from you every month. So here's what you do. Today, pull up your bank statement, go through every single recurring charge, and ask yourself one simple question. Do I really get value from this? Be totally honest. And then, be ruthless. Cancel everything you don't truly use. It is literally like finding free money.
So, let's just recap the big 5. Number 1, brand new cars. 2, too much house. 3, eating out all the time. 4, fast fashion and clothes you don't need. And 5, those sneaky subscriptions. Look, stopping this stuff isn't about depriving yourself. It's about being smart. It's about being strategic with your money. And this really gets to the heart of what O'Leary is saying. It is not about how big your salary is. It's about the quality of your decisions. He's seen people making 50 grand a year become millionaires because they avoid these traps. And he's seen people making 500 grand a year who are completely broke because they fall for every single one. Your paycheck doesn't decide your future. Your choices do. When you boil it all down, it's just a choice between 2 different mindsets, 2 different ways of living. There's the consumer mindset, which is all about looking rich right now, and then there's the wealthy mindset, which is all about being rich for the long haul. One chooses temporary comfort, the other chooses long-term freedom. It's that simple. Now, O'Leary is the first to admit that this stuff isn't easy. It's actually uncomfortable to go against the grain. And that's why most people will always choose immediate comfort over future wealth. So the real question, the one you have to ask yourself, is which one will you choose?